Members, we have formal quorum. Let's get started. Today we have 4 sessions. After the completion of the first session, we're going to take a break of 5 minutes. The next session will start at 11:05 a.m. and will finish at 1:05 p.m. The third session will start at 2:30 p.m. When the third session is completed, we're also going to take a break of 5 minutes. The fourth one would start at 4:35. If necessary, I can extend the last session by 15 minutes. May I remind members that if you have a direct or indirect pecuniary interest in respect of the items of today, please declare the nature of your interest in accordance with Rule 83A of Rules of Procedure. Please also note Rule 84 of ROP in respect of voting when you have a direct pecuniary interest. It's a FCR 2017-18-24. And this is to enable the Education Bureau to introduce measures to improve quality education. We are going to have supplementary provisions of $2.253 billion under Head 156 GS Education Bureau, and also under Head 156 GS Education Period in the establishment for 2017-2018, all non-directorate officers' midpoint salary would be raised from $3.389981 billion to $3.563778 billion to establish 199 non-directorate officers. Point of order. Let me finish first. Members should refrain from asking repetitive questions and also matters that should be discussed at the panel. And members should also submit their Rule 37A motion as soon as possible. We have already discussed this item for 1 hour, 45 minutes. Chairman, you just kept your head down. Who was taking photos? Members, today we have the last 8 hours of meeting time. So members, please do not do anything that are not allowed by our rules of procedure, including photo taking. Chairman, maybe my role is suffering from bad luck. We are getting fewer and fewer members. Now we have 4 photos of the disqualified members. I know under the FC rules, there's a minimum number of members required for a 4 quorum, but there's no mention of the situation where a number of members are not here. We have 6 members disqualified because you cancel meetings when members of political establishment camp went to Beijing for MPC or CPPCC meetings. So do you think that you should continue the meeting and deny some of our members the chance to raise questions? And when you convene, before you convene a special meeting, usually you send us a notice. Let's say on Friday, Thursday and Friday, you said insufficient members would show up. I suspect that you mean that there will not be sufficient numbers of pro-establishment members. So I would like to ask you if you have any consistent criterion here. Well, we are the Finance Committee. We only need 8 members. What do you mean by not having sufficient members to support special meetings? to attend special meetings. Dr. Fernando Zhang, Ms. Mo, similar questions. Well, we should follow the procedures of our committee. I understand because of the court case, you want to express your views and vent your emotion. We have already curtailed 2 meetings on the 14th and 15th, and we've lost 7 hours. We're here to serve our citizens. I hope you will stay focused. Let me finish. I didn't interrupt when you spoke. This morning, you gave me this morning, basically, it's about the same things, so I will give you a written reply. And since you want to have a discussion here, let me say this. If this is not about any points of order, if you want to talk about anything in respect of the court ruling, please direct your question to the court. If you insist on not doing this, I will have to ask you to leave. And as chairman, I'm most reluctant to have to do this. I hope we will all be calm and ask our questions and make the best use of our time. Let me read out paragraph 32 of our procedure. If a chairman finds out that members have spoken more than once or repetitive, he should ask the member to stop. As I've said, I'm going to give you a written reply. So let's do what we need. Please switch on the mic of Mr. Chu. I just want to clarify that you have the power to convene more meetings during the summer recess. And that is to say, today is not necessarily the last one in the current session. I just want to confirm this. Do you have the power to this? From past experience of arranging additional meetings, of course, many members are supportive, but and many members do not speak a lot, but some members have the view that they are not supportive because if we cannot have meaningful discussions, and some have got other plans. You know that we have worked very hard during the session and their plans. So I hope you understand that this is going to be the last meeting, then let's make the best use of it. As I've said, the point raised is already irrelevant to this meeting. Let's return to the item under discussion on education. So you don't want to see me? I have already handled that particular point of order. Chairman, on point of order. Let's please take a look at paragraph 35. I don't want to hurt anyone's feeling, but in order to have an orderly meeting, you should remind the members to obey or to comply with our procedure. You know what, 35? Everyone should be seated. There's no need to stand. When I enter or leave, there's no need to stand. So please be seated. You have expressed your opinion. Don't force me to do so. If no one raises this point, and I'm okay, but now it's been raised. You know that Mr. Leung Kok-hong wore short pants, and there was no problem until someone pointed it out. So please don't make me make a difficult decision. You express your views. It makes no difference whether you are standing or sitting. I hope you will be participating in the meetings, the discussion, but I cannot ignore the point raised by another member. But this is the usual practice. It's not that by standing you are acting in a disorderly manner, but if I ask you to do something and you do ignore me, that is not a proper conduct. Mr. James Toh, Chairman, point of order. Understand that Mr. Paul Chair has reminded you that we have this procedure that normally we should all be seated. We should all be seated. You're right. If a member is standing and if he is not interfere with what you are doing, there's no interference. Do you still think that is conduct so serious that you should give him a warning and to expel him as well if he doesn't heed your advice? If someone is standing behind Mr. Paul Chair, or then when Mr. Paul Chair raises his hand, you may not be able to see his hand, so it's an interference. Let's say if I put a placard in front of me, you may think this is not proper. So, Chairman, you have to consider whether it's still serious and to exercise such a power when there's no interference. 35, paragraph 35, should remain seated and need not rise. It's not shall or mandatory as if it's a law. As a member, I would like to say that I support their gesture that they can remain standing without causing any interference. Mr. Avin Young, first, to follow up the point made by Mr. Hui Chi-fung, there's the difference between the word shall and should. And let's suppose that the standing members are acting in a way that is not in line with the procedure of the committee. If the degree of non-compliance is not sufficiently high enough as to interfere with the committee, I think you should consider whether they should be allowed to do this. Members shall remain seated at meetings and need not rise in order to speak, according to paragraph 35 of our procedure. It's not a prohibition, it's not shall. I make a ruling. I hope you will not try to interfere with my ruling. We have done so much on the 14th and 15th. We've given you ample time today. I have to enforce the procedure strictly. I don't want to create a precedent whereby I allow members to do something at one time and not at another time. I have to follow the procedure strictly. Today, the item is on education. All your banners and things are not related to the item. So you have violated many procedures, many paragraphs of the procedure. I've been tolerant so far. Please put them down. Let's get to work. Please sit down. Please sit down. I believe you all want to discuss the item on education. Well, I have to enforce the procedure once I have been alerted to it. If that's the case, I have to make a difficult decision. I would suspend the meeting for 5 minutes. If you continue to pressurize me like that, I'll have to make a decision.